Not even right-handed turns can stop the history that was meant to be written. Hello everybody, my name is Brody. The NASCAR Cup Series did some road course racing and we got a bit of a break from the high-speed drafting tracks. But that did not stop the racing action and drama from continuing on to this road course race where we have a lot to unpack, and I'm pretty excited to get into my race review and overall reaction with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and start with the race winner, and then I'll get into the race recap alongside that. Then afterwards, I'll get into the actual historical significance of the race winner himself. I'll follow that up with my drivers of the day, and then we'll get into my newest segment, the What the F driver of the race, which you guys voted on. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. I'll jump into the race results, and then we'll finish with my overall opinions. So let's get right into it. Your race winner is a familiar face, especially in 2026, and his name is Tyler Reddick in the number 45 2311 joint owned Toyota Camry by Michael Jordan and Danny Hamlin. I will get into all the historical significance of this win shortly, but let's actually get into the race recap. Before the race even began, we had a few question marks. The 750 horsepower package was making its road course debut, and there were obviously some tire concerns to go along with that. More power under the hood, more stress on those rear tires, making it a factor for overall handling and long-term grip in the run. So that was a factor early on. The starting lineup was even interesting. SVG, the favorite for the race win, is starting 13th. His young star teammate Connor Zilic is starting back in the 20s. Tyler Reddick gets the pole, picking up right where he left off with that momentum from Atlanta and Daytona. So the race actually begins, and stage one is pretty self-explanatory and pretty simple. Chase Briscoe actually takes the lead but falls back early because he burned up his tires. Ryan Blaney assumes the lead, and his car looks very competitive and very strong throughout the first stage. Tyler Reddick himself drops back, but he even said he was testing out the tire wear himself to figure out where his car was strong and where it was weak. He eventually moved back up during the stage. So there was a few comers and goers throughout stage one. The drivers and teams do the regular stage flip, and Ross Chastain ends up winning the stage. Stage two is a bit more hectic, especially on the start, where poor Connor Zilic gets taken out by Daniel Suarez, who 1 year ago took out Connor Zilic in his first ever Cup Series start. If you guys remember this, it happened again. Zilic finally made his way up towards the top 15, close to the top 10, gets dumped by Daniel Suarez. I felt so bad for him. It was so unfortunate to see that. Tyler Reddick assumes the lead and starts to drive away from the field. We get a few minor spins. Noah Gragson spins, Josh Berry spins, and then the rest of the stage is really Tyler Reddick versus Ryan Blaney. Ty Gibbs ends up winning the stage due to some cars flipping the stage. Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, and SVG flipped the stage, but still managed to get stage points, so that was pretty impressive to see. Alex Bowman had an uncontrolled tire under pit stops, and I'll get into Alex Bowman a bit later during the race results, but just another horrible race to forget. Stage three was where the race really picked up. We continued the battle with Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney. That was incredible, very respectful racing throughout the majority of stage three. We saw Connor Zilic make his heroic comeback to the top 10. He was up to 8th by lap 36 to go. The final stage was where the race really picked up. We saw the continuation of the Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney battle. Very hard, respectable racing. It was awesome to see that. And Connor Zilic made a heroic comeback and gets all the way back inside the top 10. He gets up to 8th with 36 laps remaining. We saw a great battle between Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. A lot of beating and banging, but it was mostly respectful. A lot of crossovers back and forth, like road course racing is known to do with the switchbacks. It was great racing. Chase Briscoe has a mechanical issue, which is super unfortunate because he had a top 5 car the whole race long. And in that stage 3, he was lurking behind Reddick and Blaney Unfortunate. I think it was a transaxle issue. He's out of the race, the first car out of the race, so he gets last place points. Blaney and Reddick come down pit road together on lap 70. Close race off pit road, but not close enough, so Reddick keeps the lead. And then after these pit stops kind of cycle out a little bit, Ross Chastain just loses a wheel, goes spinning off at turn 19 into the gravel, and this results in a caution. Under this caution, things got worse for Alex Bowman. It was revealed that he was sick throughout the entire race, and Myatt Snyder, who was just helping Jamie Little on pit road, finds a fire suit, suits up very fast, and gets back out there for that 48 car. Really unfortunate for Alex Bowman and that whole 48 team, but props to Myatt Snyder for stepping up big time. And the front two rows for this ensuing restart got me hyped out of my mind and jumping out of my seat. We had Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, SVG, and Connor Zilisch in the first four positions. I was like, we're going to get some crazy action. We go off into turn one, and Connor Zilisch gets spun out again. He goes all the way up to the top 15, gets spun out, comes all the way back to the top 5, gets spun out again. Denny Hamlin just cooks the turn, hits the 24, hits the 38, takes out the 38 and the 88. I was so heartbroken for that kid. I was just like, poor guy. I can't believe it. I wanted to see that battle. I think it would have been a very interesting battle. Connor Zilisch was the fastest car the entire stage 3. He was pushing that thing. He was motoring that thing. I really, really wish we could have seen him up there battling with SVG and Ryan Blaney and Tyler Reddick. I think he really could have had something to say about this race. But also on that restart, we see SVG take control of second place, and Ryan Blaney just falls back. He ends up finishing 8th, I believe. His car just went away from him. We had some new faces up at the front because a lot of cars stayed out, but a lot of cars came down and got tires. We saw Christopher Bell make a charge all the way up to 3rd. SVG put up a great battle, but in the end, nobody could compete with the speed and the determination and the skill displayed by Tyler Reddick at COTA. It was marvelous to see him wheeling that Toyota Camry around. He didn't make one big mistake that cost him roughly any time. He was poised throughout the entire race when he had to be, and he got it done with the most dominant, arguably the most dominant NASCAR road course racer ever. He did that all with SVG hounding him, with Ryan Blaney, a champion, hounding him the entire time. He didn't blink. He kept his nose down, and he just dominated. He becomes the only active NASCAR driver to have more than one win at Circuit of the Americas. He won in 2023, I believe, and he wins again in 2026. This was a historic win because he is the first driver in NASCAR history to ever win the first 3 races of a season, back to back to back consecutively. And why I think he did it in arguably the most challenging way is because of how the schedule is now set up. He had to go through Daytona, the Daytona 500, where some of the best NASCAR drivers ever to race a stock car never got this race win, never got it done. It took Dale Earnhardt 20 years. Kyle Busch has never won. Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski has never won. Tony Stewart has never won. Tyler Reddick goes out there, saves all the fuel he needs to, is poised throughout the entire race, goes out there and makes that last lap pass, heroic last lap pass, wins that race, goes to Atlanta, where it's one of the most trickiest, sketchiest tracks, where a lot of good drivers and a lot of drivers you don't expect are very competitive. He had to go through Carson Hocevar, for crying out loud. With no right front fender, he wins that race. 2 incredibly hard back-to-back races he had to win, and then he goes to a very interesting, unique, and challenging road course at Circuit of the Americas, and he goes out and wins the pole to just throw salt on the wound, and then he goes out and leads more than 50 freaking laps, dominates this race. What a statement from Tyler Reddick. Honestly, it's incredible what he's doing, what that 2311 Racing team in general is doing. It's amazing. It's incredible. The adversity this team, this whole organization faced throughout the lawsuit, a pretty down year last year. Tyler Reddick went winless last season, and he has 3 wins in the first 3 weeks of the 2026 campaign. It's incredible. It's historic, and I can't enjoy it more. Maybe some fans are a bit sick and tired. Tyler Reddick dominance can bore fans. Literally, people don't like seeing drivers win back-to-back-to-back races. They don't like to see drivers win more than once in a season traditionally, and Tyler Reddick wins the first 3 races. But I honestly have been entertained the entire time because it's it's crazy to see this guy with the momentum. Momentum is real. Wins at Daytona, wins at Atlanta, comes to Circuit of the Americas where SVG is most likely to win, and he holds him off for the almost the entire duration of stage 3. Holds off Ryan Blaney to get this win. Whew. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick. Can he make it 4 in a row? Can he make it 4 in a row? I don't know. It's going to be a tough task, but it's a tough task to win 3 in a row. Tough task to win 2 in a row. Tough task to just win Daytona, the Daytona 500, for crying out loud. He's done all of that and so much more. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick in 2311 Racing. History has been made. Here are my drivers of the day, and I have to start with Ryan Blaney, who I did not expect this performance, this road course prowess from Ryan Blaney and Ford. Look, Ryan Blaney, he's a decent road course racer. He was very good in the Gen 6 car, but the Gen 7 has been a bit of a struggle. And they said in the broadcast he's open to learning, open to changing some setups, open to changing his driving style. He's willing to learn, and it paid off because he started fourth, took the lead early. He led 11 laps, looked like he had the most dominant car of the race until Tyler Reddick assumed control and never relinquished it. But he kept Tyler Reddick honest the entire length of stage 2 and about 85% of stage 3. He faded because he had older tires at the end of the race. He finishes 8th, which he's probably not very happy with. At least a top 5 would have done him a solid. Nonetheless, 8th place finish. Not too bad. He got some stage points as well. And he probably got a lot of confidence from doing this, from being ahead of Tyler Reddick at one point, being ahead of SVG and Christopher Bell past winners, being ahead of William Byron past winners and Chase Elliott and the Kyle Larsons. He was up there straight up and beating them all in a Ford, the only Ford in the top 10, the only Ford to ever show up to COTA with any intentions of being competitive, because Ford was just awful this race. And Ryan Blaney said, I don't care what I'm driving, I'm going to go out there and show out. I'm honestly proud of him because that was a very compelling way to start the season on a non-drafting track where he has been historically not great at the Gen 7 road course racing, and he comes out and does a very fabulous job. So I'm very happy for Ryan Blaney in that 12 team. Next is Kyle Larson in the number 5. You may look at his race results, be like 6th place, not very good, no laps led. But he had to overcome a lot. He was wearing one of those cold suits where the water flows through your chest and your upper body to cool you down. That broke like in the first handful of laps, meaning the water was sitting in there and boiling the entire race. And this was the first hot race in the Texas sun where it's humid and the sun feels closer to you. It's beating down on you in a hot stock car. He had to put up with that for 95 long laps. And yet, after all that, he still manages a 6th place finish. So I just want to give him a shout out for, bouncing back from a strange Atlanta race where it was an uncharacteristic mistake from him, but we saw the poised, calm, collective, and competitive Kyle Larson come back at COTA. Next, I want to give a shout out to Denny Hamlin, who has been critical of himself in the past about his road course racing prowess, especially in the Gen 7 car. He gets himself a nice, dandy little top 10 finish. His average running position was probably like where he started, 19th, most of the day. Gets himself a nice top 10. Just want to give him a shout out. That's a feat in itself for Denny Hamlin. Bet he's really happy with that. And he's got his his own car in victory lane yet again. So he's probably uh, high on momentum, high on good feels. So congratulations to Hamlin on the top 10 and another win for 2311. And finally, I want to give a shout out to Bubba Wallace, who has his own road course racing issues. I mean, if you've been watching NASCAR since he got into the Cup Series, it's been rough. In the Gen 6 car and the Gen 7 car, he finishes in 11th place, almost a top 10. Happy for Bubba Wallace, started 24th, made his way up to the top 10-ish, finishes 11th. Good for him. And now for my what the F driver of the race. Drum roll. It is Connor Zilisch in the number 88 Trackhouse Racing Chevy. This was voted on by you guys, and if you guys didn't vote Connor Zilisch, I was going to do Connor Zilisch anyways in a different segment, but it worked out anyways because Connor Zilisch, what a COTA weekend. I mean, the O'Reilly race has a brake issue, is probably the fastest car, makes his way all the way back up, gets taken out in the last 10 laps by just unfortunate circumstances by another driver, and that starts his weekend off. Poor qualifying effort, rallies through the race to get inside the top 15. Stage 2 gets spun out by Daniel Suarez, the guy he replaced at Trackhouse, goes all the way to the back, and on a road course where it's hard to pass, he rallies all the way back inside the top 5 with just a couple crucial laps remaining. And he gets taken out again. Just not even his fault. None of it. None of the incidents this weekend, the entire weekend was his fault. None of it was his fault. And honestly, Connor Zilisch, I am so proud of him because what a young man he is. I mean, just look at this. He finished 14th. He finished 14th. It's just amazing what this kid can do. I honestly think he can be in Formula One and be competitive. He really can. He has that much potential, that much skill, that much maturity. Connor Zilisch is so mature for his age. He does interviews so well. He's so media trained, and that can sometimes mean a bad thing, but in this case, it's a good thing. He doesn't get upset. He doesn't get riled up. He doesn't let emotions ever take control of the action he displays on and off the track. It's incredible and it's inspiring to watch from this young kid. He is an amazing race car driver, an amazing person, an amazing emerging talent. And I'm honestly very thankful we have Connor Zilisch in NASCAR in the Cup Series because he's going to be a superstar. He could take his talents to IndyCar, F1, be competitive and be fast, but he chose NASCAR. So I'm very happy with that. And Connor Zilisch, he said this was one of the most impressive races he's ever run because of how much adversity he had to go through. And yet he persevered and persevered well to come back for a top 15 finish after all that. Super happy for Connor Zilisch, and he gets the inaugural Cup Series What the F driver of the race. So congrats to Connor Zilisch. Here is the rest of your top 10. As we mentioned, Christopher Bell, who was the 2024 COTA winner, kind of struggled, honestly, but he put some tires on late, rallied all the way up for a podium finish. Ty Gibbs won stage 2. Pretty impressive the way he came back as well. Put those new tires on and progressed pretty fast. Michael McDowell, same thing, comes home 5th. Very impressive outing for Michael McDowell in the Spire Motorsports entry. Chase Elliott, another Hendrick car driver, finishes 8th. Very well done for Chase Elliott. AJ Allmendinger, who had a scary moment after the race, was lying down on pit road and seemed exhausted, out of breath. Very, very concerning. And Fox Sports, or Fox, just Fox for broadcasting, So they show him laying on the ground, and I'm very concerned. I'm like, oh my god, is he okay? Like, can we get an update on him? They show him for like 2 seconds. Mike Joy's like, oh, AJ Allmendinger was on the ground. They cut to Tyler Reddick celebrating, blah 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 blah. They do all the interviews, and they never ever pick up on what happened to AJ. Never picked back up. It was just concerning, and I wish we would get more coverage on that. He's okay. He was taken off in a stretcher. I hope he is all right, gets the fluids and recovers the way he needs. But that was just kind of scary. Anyways, he finishes ninth, so congrats to AJ on that. Very impressive. Other notables: Kyle Busch actually spins his own teammate Jesse Love. Got fed up with Jesse Love. Spins him in turn 20, which ends up spinning Chris Buescher in the process. Kyle Busch showed no remorse on the radio whatsoever. William Byron finishes 13th, just behind Kyle Busch, who finished 12th. I forgot to mention that. But William Byron finishes 13th, he was inside the top 10, top 8, and top 5 most of the day. Not sure what really went wrong in the end for William Byron, but he finishes still inside the top 15. Joey Logano was really a no-show the entire day. Ford was just awful besides Ryan Blaney. Shout out to John Hunter Nemechek for coming in 17th. Ryan Preece finishes 18th, and Brad Keselowski with a broken femur and all, who was questionable to even make the start for this race. Joey Hand was on standby the entire duration. He finishes 20th. He finishes 20th with a broken femur on a road course, which I'm sure was excruciating at times. Congrats to Brad for persevering the way he did. Austin Cindric finishes 32nd, and Kevin Harvick had a very good point. We thought Austin Cindric was going to be one of the most dominant road course drivers coming up from his time in O'Reilly. He did a lot of sports car testing and whatnot to develop him. And we just never have seen the road course prowess we would think we would get from Austin Cindric. It's been unfortunate to see that, honestly. And he finishes 32nd. Not sure what went wrong. I think he had a tire go down or something happened to Austin Cindric during the race. Started 28th, didn't even qualify very well. Like I said, Ford was just awful. Very unfortunate for Austin. Ross Chastain, who had that tire escape his car, he finishes 35th after starting second and winning the opening stage. And Alex Bowman or Myatt Snyder, the dual entry car, because Alex Bowman had to exit due to his sickness, they finished 36th. So a 40th place finish at Daytona. I believe he finished somewhere in the 20s at Atlanta, and now a 36th place finish at COTA. That puts him in a huge hole looking in on the chase points. So a lot of work to do. And Chase Briscoe, the only DNF of the race because of that transaxle issue, finishes 37th. Really unfortunate because he had a top 5 car, no doubt. So my overall race review opinions for this 2026 COTA race, I think, in my opinion, I do enjoy road course racing. And even for me, at some parts, it dragged a little bit. But to say that would be a disservice to the actual battles we saw take place, where Ryan Blaney was hounding Tyler Reddick the whole stage to, yeah, it could have been a little more entertaining. But if you think about it, the technical skill on display is pretty impressive. So I could see how fans can say it dragged on a little bit. Stage one was pretty straightforward as well. I did enjoy Connor Zillich coming back through the field the way he did. Already touched on that, obviously. That was awesome to see. The late race drama was interesting as well. But we never ever saw a real challenger for Tyler Reddick, who just had this race under control, basically from start to finish. Well, basically from start of stage two onward. It was really just a Tyler Reddick show. So not overall the most amazing road course race, but overall, I think it was a solid race. Not amazing, not great, but not bad by any means. We saw history with Tyler Reddick winning 3 in a row to start the season, so I was happy with it. I was entertained as a fan just because I love NASCAR and I love the racing product we see as well. But I don't think it was a very great race. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like a 6, just a modest 6. Not great, not amazing. Maybe a 6.5. Maybe I'm being too harsh. We'll go 6.5 for COTA. But I was glad to see a bit of a break from the drafting tracks just because it can get a little bit repetitive seeing that much drafting going on. Not to say I don't like it, but it was just a lot of drafting going on. I liked the left and right hand turns we saw at COTA. That's my race analysis and overall reaction of the 2026 Cup Series COTA race. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you enjoy the race? Did you not enjoy it? What was your favorite moment? What drivers do you think could have won, should have won? What do you think of the Tyler Reddick dominance? Let me know all in the comments below. And as well, let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Did you enjoy any improvements I can make? I would love to hear your feedback. And if you enjoyed the video overall, please just leave a like or subscribe if you would like to. I would really appreciate it. I made this channel to connect to race fans like yourself. So hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope I can see you in future videos. I'll be covering the NASCAR season all season long, so I hope you guys can come around for another video or two in the future. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.